Hey there, everyone. It is Sue here, and welcome to my channel. Today, I am working in my Interleaved Bible, and I'm in Genesis chapter 3, and I'm going to focus on in the book of Exodus 3, where Moses sees the burning bush and God speaks to him and explains to him that he is I am. And I'll get into that even more, but I'm excited to work in this Bible. It's been a while. I did prep the page with this Art Basics clear gesso. I'm going to be using watercolors. I'm using the Daniel Smith, the Jean Haynes Master Artist set. Love the colors. I have right now a mess right here in my palette. I'm going to just use what's on here. I'm not going to put any more paint in there because I'm waiting for a new palette to arrive. So I'm just going to end up putting this set in the new palette that I get. So I'm waiting for that. I did go ahead and highlight the verses, and I think I'm ready to begin. And I have, let's see, a number 6 round brush. And yeah, let's begin. So at church, every month, I have a Bible art class. And let me see if I can move this so I can get my paint in here for you to see. Let me see if I can move this over like that. Okay, so let me just talk about the verse just a little bit because I don't know that I can. This is going to sound funny, but I don't know if I can really talk and paint at the same time. Oh my gosh. I'm really just learning watercolors and how to paint flowers, so I have to kind of think. So let me talk about the scripture. So this is where, and let me move this back over. So this is where, like I said, this is about the burning bush. And I'm going to just read, I think, the verses I have highlighted. So this is about Moses, right? So the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. He looked, and behold, the bush was burning, yet it was not consumed. Then God called to him out of the bush, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. And then he said, Do not come near. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. And he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. Then down here, so this is chapter 3, verse 13 through 15. Then Moses said to God, If I come to the people of Israel and say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, What is his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, Say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Say this to the people of Israel, the Lord, which is also Yahweh. So Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever. And thus I am to be remembered throughout all generations. So what he's saying is that through all generations, he is, I am, right? So I am, let me see here. So, sorry. So I am is Yahweh. In fact, they come from the same root Hebrew word, I am and Yahweh. So I am is God. So we know there's many characteristics of God. But for me, the way I understand this is that I am is God. It is another name for him, not necessarily a characteristic. It's who he is. I am, right? I am. So it's a little different than in some of the other names that you might study, the names of God. But I am who I am. That's him. It's God. It's Yahweh, right? He's our creator, right? So that's what I was studying the past, I don't know, since yesterday. And I don't know. I was just, this is one of my favorite names of God. And yeah, so it was great to study it out a little bit. And now I just want to do a page around that name. So I am over here just wetting up my paints. I don't want to get it too brown. But this is actually a mixture of like at least three different colors right here. Don't even ask me what they are at this point, because this palette right now is really quite a mess. But I'm going to go ahead and I think I'll go over here just a little bit. I wanted to put some flowers on here. And now I have not, at this point, watercolored on gesso yet. So I figured watercoloring on gesso would be better than not having any foundation on the page, right? So that's why I decided to put gesso on here. I wasn't concerned if it would or would not seep through the page. Wasn't concerned about that. And having this paper at an angle like this is definitely makes it even more interesting. But all I'm doing is I'm going around and I'm getting my flower in the shape that I want it to be, going lighter and lighter as I go around. So I like that shape right there. And I'm just going to go ahead and make the middle of this a little bit darker. So I'm going to grab just a little bit more of a deeper brown. Now, what I am noticing is, when you work on watercolor paper, the paint really, if you have good watercolor paper, the paint stays wet for a while. Now, I'm noticing on here that it's drying pretty quickly, and it's also running over here because of the page, the way the page is tilted. Let me see if I can fix this. That's all right. It's A-okay. It works, right? Okay, I'm not going to futz with that anymore. Easy peasy. I am going to put a couple leaves on it. So I have actually 3 different color greens right here. And again, I don't know. If you're going to ask me what they are, I could probably find them. You know what? Wait a minute. I forgot. No, this is not. Nope. I have to do a swatch. So I did do a swatch of a different color, Daniel Smith. So I need to do this for this particular set. So I haven't done that yet. All right, so I'm going to put in a little bit of leaves. And I have my paint over here nice and wet. So now I have to think. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is this. Okay. So we have one leaf. I have to turn the Bible this way to get the other. And I can come back and put some like veins in these. I'm not going to do that right now because I would want it to dry. And again, the angle of this is definitely making this paint puddle up. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. And then what I'm going to do is I just want to get a little bit more of something here. So I'm just going to do a couple of little fancy doodads there. All right, I'm going to just kind of let that dry. And then, sorry, I hope I was just in frame. I probably wasn't. Sorry. All right, so now I want to do, I don't know, maybe 2 buds over here, but I want to get a different color. So now I'm going to go here and grab some of this beautiful deep like burgundy color. I'm going to make it a little bit darker. I pulled in a little bit more of the brown. So let me go ahead and we're going to do, because on here I want to write, God is I am Yahweh. So if I know that, then I want to come over here and I'm going to do some buds. Okay, and then another bud. Different shapes. Okay. Now in that, I think I have to let that dry again. This is really unusual working on gesso. I have to say, it reacts totally different than on, because it's like puddling up onto the gesso, which makes sense because that's right. Gesso gives you a foundation, so things don't, liquid doesn't seep through it. So I mean, it makes sense, but it's just I haven't done this before. Okay, because what I want to do is I'm going to come back. Well, I can do the stems now, I think. Let me do the stems. So I'm going to go back and pick up that same green. And I'm just going to come in and do some stems. And now I'm going to just go in here and get a little bit of green up at the top. And it's okay if it bleeds into the flower, right? Do the same here. And the same here. Okay. And then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do, let's see, just a couple little leaves here. All right. So I'm so tempted to mop this up with a tissue. I'm so tempted. I can't even tell you. Should I? I think I will for the sake of being on video. And it really leaves a pretty amazing look when you do this anyway. It gives what I call, oh, look at this leaf. It totally ran. Ah, that's all right. Um, it really gives even more of a watercolor look when you mop up puddles. My problem is that when I do it here, these puddles are pretty big. So yeah, see, it's taking the color off. That's all right. Let me at least get this mopped up a little bit here. And then we can go ahead and, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some of that same color and just go ahead and get a little bit more on there without making it too puddly. Okay, that's good. Now what I want to do on top of that is I want to get some color around the top. So I do want it to be, I'm going to put more of almost like a, well, I don't want it too pink. So I'm going to grab some of this, which is a fuchsia. I'm going to grab some of the brown and bring it over here. See how it's making that nice and deep? Yeah, see, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to use that color. And I'm going to pull in, right? So this is the color of the flower, right? These are buds. So when you see a bud, you can see the color of the flower inside. So normally I would have done these like much lighter, like with a yellow or something, and then with maybe pink bud, but I'm going with the darker colors. So, all right, I'm going to let that dry. And let's see. So I think I'm going to give this a stem all the way down. So let me do that. I'm going to pick up that green and we're just going to do a simple stem. And okay. All right, I'm going to let that dry. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and let me dry my brush. Now I'm going to write up here, which is going to be funny because now I have wet paint here. That's okay. We'll figure this out. We will figure this out. I'm going to use, this is my Jane Davenport pen. It is like super amazing. I'm just going to say this will probably bleed through. But what I want to write, like I said before, is God is I am, comma, Yahweh. Maybe I'll put Yahweh down here. So God is well, let's see. God is I am. I don't know if I'll figure that out. I think I'm going to put Yahweh on the bottom. So I do not do calligraphy, but I am going to go a little bit slow here. And I mean, I know the rule, right? When you go down, you press harder. When you go up, you release. God is oh, that actually looks like old, right? Doesn't that look like old print? It may even straight. Not really. I could have taken a ruler and measured, but no, not me. So God is, I'm trying to think where to put I am. I think I'm just going to put it basically underneath it. I am. And I did smear a little bit down here, and I'm going to put, actually I'm going to put Yahweh. Let's see. So that's it. God is I am. I like it a lot. All right. I like it very much, as a matter of fact. Now, what I could do is fill in the page like with little buds and that kind of thing, or little even berries, that kind of thing. But I don't think I'm going to. I do want to let this over here dry. What I do want to do is I'm going to take a little bit of, let me take a smaller brush. So this is a size 00 watercolor. Well, it's a round brush. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of the deepest green that I have right here. And I'm going to put some veins, whoops, onto this. And again, I mean, this ran. There's nothing I can really do about it. And I'm cool with that. And then I'm going to take this same dark color. I'm just going to go down one side of this stem. And kind of over here and over here. And we can pull a little bit onto the leaves here. And a little bit up here. Let me get a little bit more water. So we can darken that up a little bit. Oops, too much water. No, you know what? The page is buckling. Sorry, I feel like I'm making like a ton of excuses. Oh my gosh. All right. And I'm going to pull in a little bit of darker over here. Okay, I think I'm going to call this done. We can even do a little curly cues. That kind of thing, and I'll do one up here. And what do you think? You think that's good enough? Look at that. Look at how it ran. Oh, well, there's not much I can do about that. Not at this point, anyway. All right. So that is it. That's going to be my completed page for I Am Who I Am. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope that, I don't know, I hope you enjoyed. It's been a while since I've done a video of Bible art in a Bible. I do a lot of videos about Bibles, scripture, but yeah. So let me know if you have any questions, and I thank you so much for being here, and please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Alrighty, bye-bye.